After 6 years of being in chronic pain, I was diagnosed last year with hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and fibromyalgia, along with endometriosis, costochondritis, ovarian cysts, scoliosis, a hiatus hernia, and chronic fatigue syndrome. It took 6 years because, as I'm female, my 40-plus GP, physio, and specialist appointments were ended. My conditions affect me every day. I'm in pain every second of the day. After 5 seconds of standing up, my hips give in, my knees dislocate every time I walk down steps. I can't move my shoulder properly without it dislocating, and I'm awfully tired all the time. One simple task will write me off for a whole day, where all I can do is lie in bed. On bad days, walking upstairs means taking a break halfway up them. I'm so weak that I can't even lift a kettle. Now I have to squat or sit pretty much all the time. If my knee is severe, If my pain is severe enough, I can have seizures. I can't have children. I can't do any of the things I used to love doing, like walking, because I will just damage my body even more. I have to wear a billion layers of clothing when it's cold, otherwise my joints seize up, and by the time I'm 30, I'm likely to be in a wheelchair, which for me is terrifying. I use CBD oil in a dropper bottle and take 2 to 3 drops under my tongue around twice a day. I also buy legal CBD flower, which I smoke through a glass pipe, but this isn't as often as it's quite expensive. I typically use this once every few days if my pain level is especially high. I also use THC, which is the biggest help. I've been using CBD on and off for around 2 years, but I've started taking it more regularly in the last 4 to 5 months, partly because my condition is slowly getting worse, so I'm having to take more measures to make it tolerable. I like to think that taking CBD on a regular basis has helped me in day-to-day life, but sometimes I think it's a placebo. It mainly seems to prolong the time before I need to use THC, rather than really help lift the pain. The main thing that affects me with my condition is not being able to walk as far as I used to. I live in the middle of the countryside, and nature is the only thing I'm really enthusiastic about. So getting outside and walking means a lot to me. Since taking CBD, I've found that I can walk for much longer periods of time with significantly less pain during the walk. My knees dislocate a lot, which hurts, and slightly less pain afterwards too. It seems to make recovery easier. I'm not sure how much CBD helps me in everyday life, but it does make things easier to do for longer periods. For example, I can work at college longer and not have to go home as soon as we finish because I'm not as exhausted from the pain. It's not that doing simple tasks, say standing up to cook, don't tire me out anymore. They do, but I can deal with the tiredness for longer when I get it. I would definitely recommend CBD to someone who suffers from the same or similar conditions to me, as I believe it's always worth trying everything once. Although it might only keep my head above water for me, it might be life-changing for someone else. I haven't had any negative side effects from it, so I would definitely say it's worth a try.